Well, good morning, Patriots. Good morning. Welcome to the 294th consecutive Friday meeting of the East Valley Red Friday Patriots. We have 126 red shirts here today. We have 2 in red scarves and 2 in red, white, and blue underwear polka dots. I want to know who did the inspection on the polka dots. We have 130 here today, which crushes our last record of 115. Thank you for your attendance today. What a great turnout to honor America's 228,000 service members and Department of Defense employees serving our nation in over 150 countries around the globe. You can be assured that those extraordinary men and women who wear the cloth of our nation and stand steadfast in harm's way have a profound appreciation for your support. You are true patriots, and believe me, it's exciting to see your patriotism on full display at this forum every week. We applaud you all. I think we're all fully aware, as we speak, that America has boots on the ground supporting armed conflicts in a variety of locations that cannot be disclosed by the Defense Department. Dangerous, hostile locations. Will you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Hey, we've got quite a few guests that I would like to introduce to you this morning. We'll start with Raymond Stevenson. Raymond, where are you? Will you please stand? Raymond, right here. And Jim Kenyon's running right behind you there with a microphone. Raymond, you are a resident of Arizona full-time.
Yes, sir.
And you are a United States Marine Corps veteran, having served 77 to 99.
Yes, sir.
You're a retiree.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
And Terry Flowers. Terry, you are you with this guy?
Yes.
Why didn't you list Terry on here?
Hey.
Terry, you're also over at Dreamland Villa.
Yes.
And just out of curiosity, how did you guys learn about this group?
Well, he signed back up again here, and we come over here dancing all the time.
At the American Legion?
Yeah.
That's how you learned of us?
Yeah.
Great. Glad to have you with us today. Hope you'll return. Thank you for joining us. Don McIntyre, where are you? Will you please stand, Don? Right back over here. Don, you are we need these guys. You are a United States Coast Guard vet. You served 76 to 97, so you are a retiree as well.
That's true.
You are now the 3rd Coast Guardsman that we have in this group, and we need Coast Guard, so glad to have you with us. So, just out of curiosity, Don, you were a helicopter rescue swimmer?
I was.
You still swim? I heard the was.
No, I stay away from the water.
I can only imagine that you had some pretty exciting events take place in that 20-some-odd years. Welcome, and I hope you join us again.
Thank you.
William Eisner, where are you, William? Right over there. Okay, William, United States Navy CB,
Correct.
76 to 81, and you were a heavy equipment operator.
That's correct.
What kind of equipment?
Everything with rubber track or steel track, everything.
Outstanding.
Cranes, whatever.
And you are right down the road there at Sunrise,
Correct.
and you're a Michiganite,
Correct.
so we'll have you here for 6 months out of the year.
Not quite. I haven't talked my wife into that yet.
Hope to have you back with us soon.
You will, sir.
Oh, by the way, William came in. Were you the one wearing the polka dot underwear? William came in that OD shirt there, olive drab shirt, and he went out and purchased that red shirt in the lobby just to make sure that he was in compliance. We also have Carla West. Carla, where are you? Sitting right back here. Carla, you're right across the way over there at Meridian Manor, correct?
Yes, yes.
And how did you learn about us?
From my husband.
And this is the first time that he's asked you to join him?
I'm usually in bed.
Is that going to be the case from now on moving forward? Or are you going to be in bed on Friday mornings?
No.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We also have Irene. Irene, this is not the first time that you've been with us, is it? I know she's Rick's wife. I'm just saying, is this the first time that you've had? Really?
To see where Rick was going on Fridays.
Well, we see you guys at the clubhouse for a lot of activities, but for some reason I thought over the years that you'd at least been out here at least once.
Yeah, well, today is the day.
Well, I'm certainly. By the way, we have historically for this group 2 Canadians that join us, and Rick Worster is one of them, and now we have 3 with Irene. But I want to just tell you a brief story. Irene, you may not be familiar with this.
Okay.
Red Friday actually originated in Canada.
I do.
And it happened to be a gentleman, an American citizen up there on business that saw the activity and the expansion of the activity, and he brought it back to the U.S.
Nice.
That was 2014, 2015. And
Good.
we appreciate very much so the Canadian launch of Red Friday. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Clarence Gagner, is that correct pronunciation, Gagner? Gagne. I would be way off there, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
You are a United States Army National Guardsman from 1963 to 1997. You put
Correct.
in a lot of years.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you were 11 Bravo Infantry.
Yeah, 11 Bravo, yes.
Outstanding. And you are a native, or you're actual full-time resident in Minnesota.
Yes.
So you're here 5-6 months out of the year?
Yeah, 3-4.
And what is your plan? And what is your plan about getting back over here for Red Friday now?
Pardon?
What is your plan for getting
Oh, I think that they made me a name tag, and I know name tags cost money, so I'll want to come back. Yeah.
Clarence, glad to have you out with us. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much for the invite. My good friend Ron is the one that was responsible for me to come here this morning.
I
Thank you.
suspected as much. And Donna Anderson. Donna, where are you? Donna Anderson, right back over here. Donna, that's Andy's wife. Glad to have you out with us today. Why hasn't he invited you to breakfast here before?
She can't get up.
I'll bet you that will not be the case moving forward. Donna, glad to have you out with us today, and we hope you return.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, Debbie File. I will be introducing Debbie here a little bit later in the program, but Debbie is first time out for Red Friday at this group. Glad to have you with us today. Thank you. Can I have a hooah for all these first-time guests? Hooah! Thank you, thank you. You know, I want to bring something to your attention. Nancy Fassbender, raise your hand. Where is Nancy? Right there. Most of you are aware that our own Nancy Fassbender has been very involved with numerous veteran initiatives to include the Pinal County Military Order of the Purple Heart Apache Junction, Chapter 2560. Well, here a while back, we advised you of the Pinal County Veterans Memorial Project, which is now well underway with construction. This is a computer-generated rendering of what the finished memorial will look like. And this is a sculpture that has already been completed. The sculpture stands 6'3" tall and will greet visitors in front of the memorial. Recently, Nancy received recognition from the Apache Junction chapter of the Military Order of the Purple Heart for her dedication and support honoring America's combat wounded veterans and their families. In fact, Nancy has published a book about the county's Purple Heart recipients titled My Fallen Hero. And 100% of the sales of Nancy's book go to that Pinal County Veterans Memorial. Nancy, congratulations on a well-deserved recognition. May I have a hooah for Nancy? Hooah! Thank you, thank you. You know, occasionally, sergeants major have their moments, and I thought I'd share one of those moments with you this morning. So, one morning prior to my retirement from Uncle Sam's Army, I was advised that we had a young soldier that was fresh out of advanced individual training, been newly assigned to my battalion headquarters in the S1 Personnel Administration Section. That same morning, prior to formation, I saw this soldier in civvies that I didn't recognize. He was kind of aimlessly wandering around the armory unescorted. So I said, "Soldier, come over here." I said, "What's your name?" He said, "John." I said, "John? What the hell kind of name do you think that is, John?" I never call my soldiers by their first names. It breeds familiarity, and it leads to a breakdown in discipline. I only call my soldiers by their last name: Smith, Jones, Jenkins. And you will refer to me as Sergeant Major. Do I make myself clear? He said, "Yes, Sergeant Major." I said, "Good. Now that we've got that settled, what is your name, soldier?" Well, I noticed him breathe a rather high sigh of relief. And he said, "Darling, my name is John Darling, Sergeant Major." I said, "Okay, John, here's what we need to do." Ladies and gentlemen, this morning I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Richard Rick Kryberg, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army retired, who served our country for 35 years, 31 of those years on active duty, 4 years Army Reserve. Sergeant Major Kryberg is a native of Spokane, Washington, and he entered the United States Army in September of 1983. He received his basic combat training at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and his advanced individual training at Fort Lee, Virginia, where he was awarded Unit Supply Specialist as his primary military occupational specialty. His military assignments are quite diverse, and they include 10th Cavalry Reg Air, 9th Cavalry Regiment Recon, 304th Material Management Center, 420th Movement Control Battalion, Los Angeles Army Recruiting Battalion, 376 Personnel Support Battalion, 326 Finance Group, Fort Lewis NCO Academy, 63rd Regional Readiness Command, 96th Sustainment Brigade, 351st Civil Affairs Command, Headquarters, Army Reserve Command, Fort Bragg, and Parks Reserve Force Training Area, Camp Parks, California. CSM Kryberg's military education includes the United States Army Airborne School, Air Assault Course, Primary Leadership Development Course, Basic Non-Commissioned Officer Course, Advanced Non-Commissioned Officer Course, Senior Enlisted Professional Military Educational Course, Sergeant Major's Academy, Army Recruiting Course, plus numerous other training, development, and leadership courses throughout his lengthy career. His awards and decorations include the Legion of Merit Medal, the Bronze Star Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal 8th Oak Leaf Cluster, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal 7th Oak Leaf Cluster, Army Achievement Medal 7th Oak Leaf Cluster, Combat Action Badge, Basic Parachutist Badge, Air Assault Badge, and numerous other decorations, awards, and citations. Rick is the founder and executive director of Tempe-based Veterans Affinity. He established this nonprofit organization to fulfill his life's purpose, to honor and serve those who served before him. Veterans Affinity's mission is to ensure veterans get the care they need and the benefits they have earned. Rick and his wife Claudia and their two children, Chad and Chloe, live here in the Mesa area. Please welcome Command Sergeant Major retired Rick Kryberg.
We good? All the way. Every day. It's great to see all of you here. Appreciate you being here. Sergeant Major, I appreciate the opportunity to meet all of you. Nancy, I appreciate you making the connection. You keep doing great things out there in the world and making it better for all of us. I want to welcome all of you home. We cannot, as a country, as your community, your neighbors, fellow veterans, we cannot welcome you home enough. Thank you all for your service. Spouses, thank you for your sacrifice and putting up with your veteran. We appreciate you. Thank you. One of these days, we're going to figure this out. There we go. And there we go. Veterans Affinity is an organization that I started back in 2018, 2019 or so, when we quickly realized that post 9/11 veterans, we have everything. If I raise my hand high enough, somebody will probably give me a mortgage-free home. And I'm not kidding. But I have found that our veterans that served before me, especially our Vietnam veterans, are not getting the same resources. So we can sit and talk about it and complain and point fingers, or we can actually do something about it. So what I did is found an organization that focuses on those veterans that served before me, especially the Vietnam veterans. Our mission is to ensure that veterans, all veterans, but especially our seniors, are getting the care that they need and the benefits they have earned. And how we do that is we collaborate with the VA. We hold the VA accountable to do their job. And if anybody's been a non-commissioned officer in this room, you understand what it means to take care of your soldiers and ensuring that everybody does what they're supposed to do to take care of your soldier. It's no different as a veteran. So if somebody's not getting the resources or the care or what have you that they need, we're going to pick up the phone and going to choose some chew some butt. We're going to figure it out. But we're going to hold people accountable. Thankfully, we have a great relationship with the leadership at the VA, and we've had a very good success rate of getting after things and making things happen. Our priority of effort: housing, health care, and benefits. Now, what that means is veterans who have needs, we're going to try to figure out where it is, what the primary issues are. Number one, we have to ensure that our veterans in suitable housing. It's just like in the military. You got to have the barracks. You got to have a place for them to sleep. You got to have a place for them to eat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Basic logistic stuff. We got to make sure they're in suitable housing. Now, we're not the guys and gals that are on the streets navigating homeless veterans. That's not our mission. We don't have the bandwidth. But when it comes to seniors, some of you, some of us, at some point are going to need assisted living, long-term care, what have you. We're going to help facilitate that, minimizing the costs out of pocket. And then along the way, we're going to help with health care, make sure the VA is doing their part, et cetera, whether it's Medicare or VA. And then, of course, help you with your benefits that you may be entitled to. But again, benefits are not our priority. We're just going to help you figure it out. Okay, so when it comes to long-term care, veterans, if you're 70% or above, now pay attention now, if you're 70% or above, you will be eligible for free long-term care when the day comes, free. Whether it's a veterans home or you've got 16, 17 VA contracted facilities throughout the valley, free, if you're 70% or above. I have a lot of seniors right now that are paying $5,000 to $8,000 a month for long-term care. And God forbid you have dementia or Alzheimer's, you're talking about memory care, you're talking $12,000 to $15,000 a month. So if you're 70% or above, it will be free in a VA contracted facility or the veterans home. Okay, one of the things that we do with healthcare is we have a lot of guys and gals, just out of curiosity, humor me. How many of you are not veterans now? How many of you are not enrolled in the VA for healthcare? All right, see that? At some point, we got to make a connection here and let us help you enroll, okay? Let us help you get enrolled. You should be enrolled in the VA, and I don't care if you don't want to use it or not. I don't care. I just need you to get in the system because at some point, the VA is going to offer a resource for you for free and potentially could help your family. But one of the things that we do is we're going to pull your medical records on everywhere you've gone to seek care. We're going to pull your medical records to make sure that the VA can see everything. But also we're going to look at it and say, you know what? You were in Vietnam, you have a campaign medal, and I see this pancreatic stuff that's going on. I could probably connect that to Agent Orange. So we do a little circling, circle here, arrows here. And then I'm going to point you to the DAV. That's who we partner with, Disabled American Veterans. Carl Faulkner, you probably have heard of him. Very, 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 very good at what he does. But we're going to help you get that claim filed. And oh, by the way, if you're 100% disabled, those benefits pass on to your spouse. And we'll talk about that later. The other thing that we like to do is we have a lot of veterans that are in facilities, medical treatment facilities, whether it be hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, long-term care, assisted living, independent living, memory care. We're going in there and we're visiting them. Unfortunately, those men and women, they cannot come to this breakfast this morning. They cannot feel the love that I feel, that I personally feel, and I know all of you feel. They can't feel that. And so we do our best to take it to them. And we want to ensure that they're not forgotten. Something else that we do is we coordinate durable medical equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The first thing that we do is we make sure that the VA does their part to ensure that equipment gets delivered in a timely manner, et cetera, et cetera. However, there's times and situations where the VA is not always up to snuff, but we need something quick. Well, we have resources that can take care of that for them. We have a great team that actually will go and deliver equipment. So if you know anybody that has DME, wheels, chairs, walkers, what have you, in a garage or storage unit, let us know because we'll have a team that will come and pick it up. and then redistribute it to somebody else in need. The other thing that we do that the VA, we get a lot of kudos from the VA is we have reduced, as a team, we've reduced the no-show rate for appointments. We have a lot of veterans that are housebound, they're by themselves, isolated, and they're missing their appointments. So the VA will reach out to us and say, hey, we've got Johnny in Phoenix, he's missed his third appointment, we can't get a hold of him, can you look into it? Like good NCOs, going to go knock on that door and see what's going on. And sometimes we find out that the guy went back to Minnesota, moved back home, or moved. Maybe their phone died, or maybe they died. This is what we deal with all the time. And then we're the ones that's going to notify the VA and say, okay, here's your update. It's not easy, but it's got to be done. Whoops, whoop. Went too fast. All right. Agent Orange. Probably got, there's a lot of Vietnam veterans in here, and I was very happy to see all of you here, but there are some Vietnam veterans that are not here because they're in really bad shape. And so we want to make sure that they have filed for Agent Orange. We want to make sure that they have actually done the file. And so they can get the treatment, they can get the care, the benefits, and everything that comes with it. By the way, those benefits will pass on to the widow. And we'll talk about that in a little bit later. Yeah, that's one thing that we do with the VSOs. That's a big reason why they like us, because when veteran goes into to meet the service officer, we don't know what we want. We're entitled to benefits. And it makes it kind of challenging for that rep to figure out what the heck is going on. Whereas I go through the records, circle presumptives, and I say, hey, Dr. Carl, check it out. This is what we got going on. This is what he needs to apply for. He may talk about his hearing loss or whatever, but that's not the priority. Pancreatic cancer is. So let's get that filed. Okay, burial benefits. A lot of people think that all veterans are entitled to the same burial benefits. They're not. They vary. Oh, where did it go? We're going to assist you, point you in the right direction to get you in the National Cemetery if that's where you choose to go. We can help you coordinate an honor guard. Although that's not our plan, that would not be a good plan of attack for us to do that. We will talk about exactly what to do and how to do that here shortly. But when a veteran passes away, I'm going to tell you right now, if just try to imagine losing your loved one today. Imagine what you would have to contend with emotionally. It is chaotic, folks. So the stuff that I'm trying to present to you, I want this to be your takeaway. There's things that you can do now that can prepare yourself for that moment, because it is absolutely chaotic. They don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, and then what happens is I got a veteran that doesn't even get a flag, or the family doesn't get a flag. There's no honors, there's nothing, because they didn't plan. The other thing too is we're going to help surviving spouses get whatever benefits they may be entitled to ensure that they get a flag, and they also get bereavement counseling. Bereavement counseling is where a chaplain or a veteran advocate or somebody close that can relate to your situation will come in and help you during a very difficult period. Okay, now, the next area here, this is where I need you to pay attention, because these benefits are the one that seniors are most likely to apply for, and I'm going to tell you right now, you probably have met one already. There are claim sharks out there that will hustle you to file for these benefits. Aid in attendance and VA pension. And right here, this is the rules from the VA. Everything that's on here is from the VA. It's not from the American Legion. It's not from Veterans United or Wounded Warriors. Nope, from the VA. So there are monies that will help you offset the cost of assisted living or with caregiving. It's income-based, depends on if you served in a wartime era, and your income, your assets. Okay, for VA pension eligibility, you cannot have received a dishonorable discharge. You have a dishonorable discharge, it's not going to happen. What I would recommend is that you maybe apply for a discharge upgrade, and we can talk about that, which I know there's nobody in this room here, but if you need help with that, we can help with that. Second thing is you got to serve in a wartime era, active duty in a wartime era. Okay, so for all of you, it's got to be 90 days. 90 days and at least one of those days in a wartime era. For my generation, it's 2 years. And then the loss of activity, daily living, ADLs. Does that sound familiar to anybody, ADLs? We'll talk about that here in a second, too. And then your net worth has got to be below $159,000 and change. Now, in saying that, it does not include the home that you live in. Does not include that nice Mercedes sitting in the driveway. They're going to count that. However, you decide to go get yourself a little Pinto wagon, to ride around town in, or get you a cabin up in Prescott, they will count those as assets. All right, here are your wartime eras as defined by the VA. The VFW, they have different wartime eras. Now, the Vietnam, they've shifted the date to the left to 1955. However, you must have been boots on ground. One thing about this too, if you look at your DD-214, if you were in Vietnam, just remember this, look for a Vietnam Campaign Medal, or VCM. That's a big one, VCM. All right, activities, daily living. That means you should be able to bathe, dress, eat, basic stuff on your own without any assistance whatsoever, none. If you are a fall risk or you need help with bathing, simple things, you're eligible for some level of resources, a caregiver, what have you. So when applying for these benefits, the ADLs, if you're functioning and you drove here, don't even bother because you're too independent. But if you know somebody that they can't get out, they need help doing the basic things, they might be eligible for some extra resources. Okay, the aid and attendance. Has anybody heard of Altex? Altex, Arizona Long-Term Care? Okay, this is good. You got a healthy crowd here. So, first and foremost, you got to qualify for the VA pension income-wise, and then you got to have the loss of the 2 ADLs, activity daily living, and then the income and assets to receive aid and attendance. Now, aid and attendance for a single veteran is about $1,800 a month. Married is about $2,400, $2,500 a month. So again, when the day comes, and folks, it will come. I promise you, it will come. It maybe 2 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, it will come. This is money that will help you in those situations. So just remember this. Surviving spouse benefits. All right, got to be married at least 1 year. You can't have multiple wives. There we go. See, I'm making sure everybody's awake. Okay, veteran died from a service-connected disability. Meaning, if a veteran's 100% for pancreatic cancer and dies from pancreatic cancer, the widow's going to get about $1,900 a month for the rest of his or her life. However, if you have service connections for pancreatic cancer and you die from COPD, you get nothing. That's a big problem we have going on right now is we got death certificates that are not aligned with service-connected disabilities. So the important thing is making sure, especially if you have a loved one that ends up on hospice. If you have a neighbor or somebody you know that goes on hospice, you got to make sure that the death certificate includes the service-connected disability. PTSD, you can't die from PTSD. Yes, you can. PTSD exacerbates conditions. So guess what we do? We ensure PTSD goes on the death certificate. Yep. And I got some doctors that want to argue that point. I don't care. Just, you get it on there because it exacerbated the condition. We're getting through the important stuff. Then we can move on to the fun stuff. Just bear with me. All right, for survivor's pension, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. The spouse had to have served in the wartime era. That's the important thing, okay? And there are income limits for the spouse. So in each city, each zip code, it varies. So on average, it's about $14,000 a year. That's the income threshold. If you think about it, $14,000 a year. Not much. Okay, burial benefits. Some people think dollar for dollar. Veterans are going to get dollar for dollar. So if I go pay $10,000 for a casket and all this good stuff, the VA is going to reimburse dollar for dollar. They will not. I promise you they will not. The only ones that get dollar for dollar are those who died in uniform. So, but two important factors that will determine if you get more money is where did the veteran die, meaning did the veteran die in a VA hospital, a VA contracted facility, and then how the veteran died. Died from a service-connected illness, that's how they get more, there's more money. But the key thing is, again, you got to have a DD-214. We're going to talk about this here in a second. You got to have a DD-214. If you want to be honored, you want to be in the National Cemetery, make sure you got a DD-214. All right, miscellaneous benefits. Y'all know about 988? 988. Oh my goodness, guys, gals. 988. You got somebody who's having a rough moment, rough time. 988 is the number to call. You call it, a human being will answer it, and they're going to talk you through whatever's going on. I'll just say it out loud. It's the suicide hotline number. But it doesn't mean that you're contemplating suicide. Maybe you're severely depressed or whatever, and you just can't figure it out. Call the numbers. They're going to help you. It's a great tool. This is a great resource. Caregiver benefits. Not everybody's eligible for caregiver benefits. You got to have a 70% disability to be compensated. Okay. All right, and same thing with transportation. You got to have a disability, got to have the percentage to get free transportation. Everybody know about HISA grants? Will they modify your bathroom? Okay. The VA will reimburse up to $6,800. Now I want you to watch out for some of these companies out there that'll tell you, we'll do it for free. But the fine print is up to $6,800. To modify a bathroom is $10,000 to $12,000. There are organizations out there that will pick up the tab, so you don't have to pay a dime. We're getting there. I think this is the last serious thing. All right, end-of-life planning. Locate and secure that DD-214. Do it now. Do it today, please. Secure it. Complete your power of attorney. Get it done. Because if you become incapacitated, you're going to have a fiduciary, and they don't care that you were in the Army and in the Korean War. They don't care. Okay, advanced directives. You got to know if you're a full code or a DNR. If you end up in the hospital, they're going to ask you that. Are you full code or DNR? These are the things you got to know. And then if you want to be buried or cremated, you'd be surprised that I have a veteran right now that's actively dying, and the family doesn't even know if he wants to be cremated or buried because they're in denial. So these are the things you want to have a conversation now. You know, please, 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 please. All right, here's the important one. Select a mortuary. Just select a local mortuary. You want to be buried in the National Cemetery? You want to go to Arlington? You still got to pick a mortuary because Arlington's not going to come out to Phoenix, Arizona and pick you up. You got to pick a local mortuary. So, for example, because I have Dignity Memorial here that's with me and they partner with us, they do pre-needs for us. Veteran goes down to Mariposa Gardens right down here on Broadway and Power. I'm just giving you an example. Walks in with a DD-214 and says, yep, I'm Army and I want to be interned at the National Cemetery. Dignity Memorial goes, they take care of everything. And they say, when the day comes, you come back and see us, ma'am, and we'll get you squared away. It's that simple. You don't have to pay in advance, none of that. It's done. So when the day comes, you call Dignity, Dignity comes down, takes care of all that, problem solved. It's very simple. Very important to plan ahead, folks. Please plan ahead. Please. I'm telling you, I have a situation right now. I told the family, 6 weeks ago to take care of this, and now I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm begging for favors to get this guy interned at the cemetery here the next month. It's just frustrating. I wish people would just listen. So please, please do something, okay? Please. All right. One thing we love to do is connect veterans with each other. All right, I'm going to lift you up a little bit. We love to connect people with each other. Connect people by branch, by years of service, war era, what have you. We love to connect with each other. We love doing activities in assisted living facilities, whether it's serving breakfast, coffee, what have you. Any activities. Like yesterday or a couple of days ago, we were in the veterans home. We brought in miniature horses. All right, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, we brought in some miniature horses, and they visited all the veterans in the home, and just to observe that and the companionship between human, and animal, it's really special. It's really special. Then of course with Terry, my partner, my battle buddy, we do coffee hours all over the valley. And in some places we started with 5, and now we're at 105. We started with 10, and now we're at 150. I mean, it's just like, but we just share stories and we connect, get people to open up, figure out what's going on, and then point you in the right direction. So there was an issue with the suicide rates were going up in the senior community. This actually came up in a meeting, and I told Director Matthews, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to tell you why we have yet to have one of those. And it's because we're very connected with our seniors in town. We're very connected. They know they can reach out without any judgment, if you will. They're going to reach out, and we're going to get them squared away. So connecting with each other is really, really powerful. The other thing, too, is we also do morale trips. So, again, our community partner, Dignity Memorial, they funded a trip for 100 of our veterans to go to opening day, the Arizona Diamondbacks, which was fantastic to see veterans and their families there enjoying a ball game. Honoring veterans is very important, especially for our Vietnam veterans. I'm sure you all can agree that our Vietnam veterans didn't quite get the honors that they deserved. So it's never too late to right a wrong, and that's what we attempt to do every single day. We will reissue awards and decorations because a lot of guys, including my dad and my uncle, got rid of theirs when they came back. That was the quickest way to assimilate, was to get rid of their stuff. So we're going to do whatever we can to replace it. We do welcome home ceremonies as if it just happened, as if today was June 6th, 1968. That's the way we treat it. We get the community involved, and everybody's cheering as if it's kind of a do-over. And then final salutes. We have veterans that are dying, that are on hospice, and we go in there and we give them their final salute. And we let them know that they're dismissed and that they need to take charge when they get upstairs and get all the veterans together and make sure everybody's good. So when it comes to honoring veterans, we do a little bit of everything. So the photos that are in front of you, the one on the left was a World War II soldier, Army, that was killed in France. Family found out about me and they said, we'd just like to know what happened to our great uncle. So we did some research and found out exactly what unit he was in, where he was at, when he died, the whole 9 yards. We were able to get everything. And then what we did is we took all the information. From that information, we built a shadow box with all his awards, decorations, patches, and his dog tags. And then we presented it to his family, kind of shared the story based off our research. And so what we got out of that was, you brought us closure. You brought us closure, which is really, really important. The one on the far right is a Korean War veteran who ditched everything to get the heck out of Korea so fast because he wanted to be with his wife. And so we ended up replacing his medals and his decorations and all that good stuff, and then recognized him in an assisted living facility in front of his family, to include his wife. So it was pretty special. The one in the middle was a Vietnam veteran that we found out about on the news, who had lost everything during the tunnel fire in Flagstaff. A couple of years ago, I think it was 2022, I believe, he lost everything in the fire. And the story was on the news is that he lost his uniforms and his medals in a fire. And so we made contact with him, and it wasn't easy because he was not very trusting. But we managed to get through, made the long trip up to Flagstaff. Long trip for me, probably a short trip for some of you, but my goodness, that's a long drive. But made contact, and then we got to get through those barriers. Thank God he was in the Army. He was a lieutenant, right? So he's a lieutenant, and he was a lieutenant. So we figured it out. But in any case, started peeling the onion a little bit, and then we started to make some magic happen. We got his housing situation squared away. We got him enrolled in the VA. We got him some benefits, got him some resources. We honored him. We did everything right. And just this last February, he passed. So it's never too late. All right, I get asked this a lot. How do we support? How do I support you guys? Yes, donations matter, but that's not how we lead in. You will not see us hustling money. It's not going to happen. What I need you, all of you, to do, you want to help me? Share your story. Share your story with others. Start looking for those guys and gals that are in the, I was going to say the commissary, but fries. When you see guys and gals wearing their hats, go up to them, say hello. And if somebody comes up to you because you're wearing yours, be open. Just take a moment. I know you're in a hurry to get your Captain Crunch. I got it. But just take a moment. Volunteer. We have so many volunteer opportunities visiting veterans that are in these homes. We also have a Donut Dolly team. Donut Dollies. You all remember Donut Dollies? So I have spouses that, led by Terry, that do the serving the coffee and the donuts while the veterans are just socializing. So we can get them to stay focused on their veteran. Google reviews are also important. I have a lot of veterans and families that live out of state. They don't know who I am. They don't know if I'm trying to hustle them. But Google reviews, they can learn a little bit about us. And then, of course, donations. Donations always help. It helps pay for the things that you've seen today. So, gosh, that story still gets to me. This is us at the Veterans Home, our Red Shirt Friday that we do every so often. Here are the resources, right? If you wanted to take a look at it, that's where I pulled a lot of this information. There's my business card. Everybody, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the invitation today and hang out with all of you this morning. Thank you so much.
Rick, we want to take this opportunity to present you with a certificate welcoming you to the Order of the R.E.D. And this is in recognition for your honorable military service, your veteran care initiatives, and your support of this East Valley Red Friday Patriots group. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Richard, do you have the pen? And additionally, Rick, we have a Red Friday lapel pin that is a quite coveted item around this Red Friday community. And we're hoping that you might wear this with pride in some of your future engagements. I'm not going to slam this into your chest, I promise you. But I will tell you that this will stand out quite nicely on that dark blue suit that I saw you wearing.
It's like I'm being promoted.
I don't think you could go much higher. Thank you. Appreciate everything.
Thank you so much. You're doing a heck of a job.
Thank you.
so much.
I also want to take this opportunity to recognize one of our, one of our distinguished R.E.D members, a gentleman that for some time now has been seated to my immediate left, week after week, very effectively managing the controls on our audio-video system. You know, this guy arrives early every Friday, assists in setting up these monitors throughout the dining hall, connects all the cabling required to link the systems together. He performs pre-meeting checks on the AV system. Then he sits down at the control board to manage both the audio and the video graphics for our presenters. He's got a big job, one that he takes a hell of a lot of pride in doing well. Barry McDonald, stand up 1 minute, will you? Now you can take your seat. Allow me to share a little bit of information with you about this fine gentleman. Barry was born and raised in Ridgecrest, California, a town of about 25,000 outside of the Navy base known as Naval Station China Lake. No stranger to the armed forces. His father, his uncle, and aunt all served in the military during and around the World War II era. After high school, Barry headed out to college, earned a degree in communications at California State University. Then he returned to Ridgecrest, California. He ran a local newspaper, the News Review, where he wrote, sold advertising, and distributed his paper. Now, eventually, Barry decided to sell the newspaper and go to work for the U.S. Navy at Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake. In fact, Barry had a long career there, first in writing technical specifications and documents for weapon systems, then as the editor for the base newspaper, The Rocketeer. Now, Barry met his future wife, Kelly. Kelly, raise your hand back there. He met Kelly after he left the specification writing group, and she was hired into that same group. In fact, several of the people in that group thought they would hit it off, started dating, eventually ended up tying the knot to include Barry and Kelly. Because of his stellar performance, Barry was promoted as the manager of the Navy Video Productions Department, a department that created weapons, test, and evaluation videos and presentations. Eventually, he was assigned to the Command Technical Information Department, creating communication plans and presentations for the command and senior executives to use when they went to present in Washington, D.C. to the brass. Now, during that time, Barry and Kelly raised a son and daughter, several golden retrievers. Their son joined the Marine Corps in 2008, deployed to Afghanistan and Japan before being discharged in 2012 and moving to Arizona. Barry elected to retire after 28 years, continued to support Kelly's career while she worked. And when Kelly ultimately retired in 2019, they decided to move to Arizona to be near their son and their only grandchild. Their daughter originally moved with them to Arizona, but now lives in Tennessee. Both Barry and Kelly are true patriots, and they're very grateful for the veterans in their lives, including their son. And they are also quite grateful to the United States Navy, which gave them both a long and prosperous career and life of service to the United States military. Barry, thank you for your service to our military establishment. Thank you for your patriotism, and thank you for your support of Red Friday. And may I have you come forward? I would also like to present Barry with this certificate, welcoming him to the Order of the Hot Mic. recognizing for your support of America's Armed Forces, veterans initiatives, and your selfless contribution to our East Valley Red Friday Patriots group. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hang on. And I would also like to present you, Barry, with this Red Friday lapel pin. And I know that you will be wearing this with pride. Can I have a hoo-up for Barry? Hoo-up! Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do have a few announcements that I would like to make. Some of you may be familiar with the Sunland Village East Veterans Club here in Mesa. The club currently has 157 members, and the club's mission is to promote patriotism, honor our veterans and family members, create educational opportunities, and support those in need. Club members meet monthly during the 7-month period of October through April, and historically, they host a few special events throughout the year. In fact, on Monday, March 24, the club is sponsoring a veteran stand-down to be held at Sunland Village East, and they are anticipating about 1,000 veterans to be in attendance. This morning, we're pleased to have the president of Sunland Village East Veterans Club, Debbie Fife, a United States Air Force veteran, here to highlight the upcoming event and explain why attending the stand-down may be beneficial for many of you. Let's welcome Debbie Fife.
10-9. Thank you very much for this opportunity today. It is great to see the sea of red shirts. We are having a stand-down event, and we'll be putting the flyer in the back of the room for you. One of the reasons our club chose to do this is we get together for socials, we have our six on all of our veterans, but what we're finding out is you don't know until you know. You sit next to your buddy and they say how much money they've got, they say how much claims they've been denied for. Everybody's gone through a different process. Or heaven forbid, they haven't even started the process as Rick alluded to. So we're kind of tired in Mesa of having to go west all the time. We're tired of going to the city, to Phoenix. Everything happens on the west side. Everything happens with the large population. Well, there's a pretty damn good population when the snowbirds come to town. So we're trying to serve the East Valley in this. And our Veterans Club decided that it's time. We have a lot of people that are, have a VA service in Minnesota, Montana, North Dakota, Washington. They come here and they have to fly back for an appointment. Well, you can get appointments on both sites. They have transfer records. So our event is Monday, March 24th, as he said, from 9 to 4. We have a large auditorium, large facilities. We have some great sponsors. One of our large sponsors is here today, Terry Flowers from Dignity. You will also see amazing resource organizations. Rick Krayberg, Nancy Fossender. You'll see several people like them with what services they offer. And we're calling that organization the middle people. You have to get into the facility first, into the system first. So the VA, I've been working with them for a year. We have over 22 tables of educational material. We will be having several claims people on site. We will be having the VA toxic screening on site. So you come in and bring your DD-214, your medical records, your VA ID. You sign up, you go to eligibility. Things have changed. As Rick said, they're constantly changing. The PACT Act is huge. Pre-screen, the pre-qualifiers are huge. So you sit down with eligibility. You go to the toxic screening. They do it right on site right there. You can go and file a claim right there. And right now we're pushing towards getting MDEOs there, which is the medical office that will do your on-site medical exams. Some of these procedures would take you 4 to 6 months, if not a year, to be seen. We're doing them right on the spot. We are a sanctioned chapter to do Vietnam veteran pinnings, as you had at your last meeting. 2025 is a closure for that. If you haven't been pinned, it's time. If your neighbor hasn't been pinned, it's time. So we'll be having some special guests doing some pinnings. We're also going to recognize all veterans. We have a lot of fun people in our organization. I think you have a great opening crowd here as well. There's a lot of organizations like this that meets. Well, let's get together and share some stories. As Rick said, share your story. We have free haircuts. Some people don't need them, right? You might have a buddy that still has a little bit up there, or a female that still has a little up there. You want to go, you can trim a lot of stuff. It's not nose hair, I've been told. It's not your ears. So we have free haircuts being done by the Mesa Barber School. So we encourage you to come to our event, and it's very passionate. I'm an Air Force veteran for Desert Storm, Security Police Raven. So my world has been guns, protecting men and women. My dad, the reason we're passionate about this, and I'm an active member in this Apache Junction, is the VA, my dad's VA records were burned in a fire. He didn't exist, as several of you probably. I got ticked. I got really ticked and wrote this 20-page document. We brought it into this American Legion with Scott Jackson. He's a resource officer. I mean, resource officers are great if you get the right one. We fought. He finally got what was coming to him. It took him a long time to accept it, but our family's in a better situation. My mother's in a better situation. My father feels like he is owed what he was promised. So that's what we want to do for you. We're the resource. I unfortunately cannot attend every Friday. I'm still employed for 10 more years. Unless I find a husband, but I think I'm rather going to work. So we welcome you to our event, and thank you for introducing us tonight. We appreciate it.
If you have a flagpole at your home or office and you need a new flag, the Legion, the Legion has several interment flags that are available to you today at no charge. These flags are the 8 by 10 foot flags, not the smaller 5 by 7 or 3 by 5s. If you want one of these flags, and they have about 6 or 8 here today, like new flags, either see Terry Rapp, raise your hand, or Jim Clerkin. Jim's back there in the back. Would you guys, after the meeting, take those flags back there so that if somebody wants to pick them up, when they drop off their name tag, they can pick them up? The cases are coming with the flag as well. Free. Also, as a reminder, for those of you who reside in one of the local Thesman communities, that being Las Palmas Grand, Las Palmas, Palmas del Sol, Palmas del Sol East, and Sunrise Village, an ice cream social is scheduled for next Wednesday, January 22nd, beginning at 2:30. And this social is for Thesman residents who have never attended a Red Friday meeting and they want to learn about our program, meet some of their Thesman neighbors and Red Friday members. It's not for current Red Friday members. So in effect, it's a recruiting initiative. Bill, don't come in there looking for ice cream. If you live in one of the Thesman communities and know folks that might be interested in joining us for Red Friday, please extend an invitation. All of the Thesman community activity directors have been briefed on this social, and they will provide the tickets to those that wish to attend the activity. You should also be aware that we have scheduled keynote speakers for the remainder of Q1, and I would ask that when you're notified of an upcoming speaker, please plan to attend. It's the absolute least that we can do to demonstrate our appreciation for their commitment to address our group, and we always learn something from those that have delivered presentations here. The Reefs Across America 48-foot educational trailer semi-truck will be coming to town on Saturday, January 25, VFW Post 7968 for a veteran stand-down. It's going to be located behind the Pizza Hut in Apache Junction. 250 South Phelps Drive, right down the way. It's an open invitation to the public. Learn more about Wreaths Across America, view their short film they have, tour that semi-truck, learn about the history of what goes into Wreaths Across America. To our first-time guests, thank you for joining us today. We sincerely appreciate your attendance. Hope that you'll join us again soon. Please know that you're always welcome at our Red Friday assemblies. And as a final reminder, let us not forget to keep our deployed warriors in our thoughts and prayers. Continue to demonstrate our support for these fine men and women. Enjoy your weekend.